Okay. Should have had maybe like trillions of times at that ending. That was a really janky attempt, but we will take it. Oh, 2113. That's a really cool level. All things considered, that's really neat. I like this a lot, and I don't think this deserved nearly as much hate as it did. I thought this was overall, like, net enjoyable. I do have complaints with it, though. Obviously, the beginning has some brutal blue orb timings. Luckily, it's the beginning, and I can deal with a difficult... I can deal with a difficult pre-drop just fine. The one chain of 3 blue orbs that I want to say 5%, 4 to 5% is insanely hard. The rest of the parts just got some tricky clicks, but they're not bad. Those 3 in particular are the real brutal ones. What else was kind of tricky? I'm trying to think. Oh, the portals in the wave in like the early 20s-ish, like 20 somewhere, they didn't go all the way down to the slopes, so you had to kind of intentionally go into those portals to make it work. So you had to intentionally like overtime some gaps. It was a little awkward. Mostly fine. You could pretty much get around it okay, but it was still not my favorite thing in the world. The mini ball click into the yellow pad at 30 is like a 6 frame on 288, which is brutal, kind of. It's not bad. It's right on the edge of being too bad. Luckily, you're moving fast enough there that I didn't find it to be too much of a problem. You have a decent range, really, to click. And visually, you have a decent range to click, too. So it wasn't terrible, but it was kind of tricky. The blue orb yellow orb into the next wave portal was kind of finicky to set up. You had to kind of go into the blue early, at least I did. You had to like click early before the blue, so you were high on the blue orb, so you could hit the yellow early enough, so then you could fall down as the wave soon enough. So it was a little finicky. It wasn't a major problem, but it's definitely worth mention. What else was there? Oh, the ball UFO duel here. I actually thought this played really well once I figured out what the fuck I was doing. I was dying to the first click in because I was clicking too late. Part of that's because it's a mirror portal, so it's hard to see when you're supposed to click. But also part of it was just skill issue on my part, and it being like 4 a.m. And then the 3 clicks with the UFO where you do the 1, 2, 1, and the ball in the bottom hits the pink orb. That I was doing wrong. That was just like straight up doing it wrong, I think. I mean, I was doing it in a way that you could make work, but was way less consistent, and I don't think the intended way to do it at all. Oh, excuse me. Rest of that part was good. Mini wave here is kind of annoying. Maybe one of the bigger problems I had with the level is the down gravity portal in the mini wave here, because it's just like it's put in such a weird position where you can either do a small click before the down gravity portal and then a slightly longer click after the gravity portal, or you can do what I did, I think, I don't even know, which is fall into the down gravity portal without doing an extra click, and then you can either do 1 or 2 clicks out, and no strategy ever seemed consistent here. This was maybe the one of few parts of the level where I was like, that's just not super fun gameplay. The next part of the level that I didn't think was fun was the mirror portal transition out of the mini wave into the slow big wave. That was really annoying. There's stuff you have to dodge way too soon there. You have to be high in the thing, like right as your wave trail starts showing up again, right? You have to like actively be trying to guess where your wave is, basically, because there's no good way to follow it. I just did not like that mirror portal. I thought that was really gross. You could do the rest of the mirror portals in this level I thought were fine for the most part and done pretty well. That one mirror portal I thought was really, really gross where it was, and I would have loved for it to either for there to be less mirror portal so that mirror portal doesn't have to happen, or if you're going to put a mirror portal there, just make the thing you have to do next a little easier, right? Because you really have to control the wave to the top of that corridor pretty immediately after you hit the portal, and it's just like that's not great. It's not my favorite, especially since you're spamming as the mini wave a little bit before that portal. So then where you hit the portal is slightly different every time. It was not good. It was not consistent. I didn't like that at all. Then the rest of the level is pretty good up until the thing at like 70 with the blue orbs. Again, I fluked from 60. 55? Flew from 55. No, 55. Yeah, 55. I think I fluked from 55. Dang. But this blue orb thing, it's the blue and pink orbs just scattered all about in like the slow cube with the little like GD cube made out of blocks. The first 6 clicks of that are pretty gross. The first 3 are okay, but it's the blue into the down gravity, blue, pink. That's all like stacked vertically. That's insane. That's insane. Because part of the problem was the first 3 blue orbs, you want to try to get... How you do the first 3 blue orbs determines how the jump off of the cube happens, off of the like block happens. How that jump happens determines how the next 3 clicks happen, because you want to be at the highest part of your jump that you can be at, and then buffer the blue orb, I think, the next blue orb, so that you go up sooner, so that you hit the down gravity sooner, so that you can hit the next blue orb sooner, so that you can make it to the pink orb sooner, because if you make it to the pink orb too late, you just aren't in range of it anymore, right? That I wasn't a huge fan of. Did not care for that one so much. And then the dual ship at the end was fine once I learned it, mostly. It was just a little finicky, especially with the kind of do-it-yourself transition in, where you have to be like middle on the dual portal, but with a little bit of downward momentum. It was just awkward enough that it's just like this. I don't love it. I don't love it. I don't love it. It's fine. It was okay. It worked out in the end. I didn't die there from 0, but it really kind of was. There was just always a chance I did that transition wrong, pretty much no matter how much time I sunk into it. That was probably the part, that dual ship and the transition into it was probably the single part of the level that took me the most practice to, like, get down. Then the rest of the level's more or less fine. Oh, no. The last thing I want to comment on is the 4 blue orbs stacked on top of the portal that takes you from a dual wave to a single mini wave. Those blue orbs are just not where they should be, because the problem I was running into is if you click before the portal, both of the waves hit a blue orb, so nothing happens. But once you've hit the portal, you start falling up toward the ceiling really fast and are very quickly out of range of the blue orbs, right? So you had to pretty much get like a first few frame blue orb click when you just barely have become a mini wave, right? You just barely aren't dual anymore. It was really awkward and annoying, and I'm very glad I didn't die there from 0, because there was always just kind of a chance you did. And I mean, you could have maybe in the 2-click dual wave spam kind of set up so that you enter the portal low with player 1, like the upside down player 1 enters the dual portal, or the Soul portal low, but it didn't feel super fair. It felt like that could have been ameliorated with just, maybe just like an extra blue orb up at the top, or like a different way to set up the blue orbs. I don't know. It wasn't my favorite, is what I'm trying to say. The rest of everything else though was fine. And like I say, there were parts of this that I thought were really, really fun. The duels in this I think are really smart. Genuinely, some of the duels in here are really clever. I've seen some of Shmigels' other stuff, and it all looks very, very interesting. I don't understand. But I've seen a lot of Shmigels' other stuff, and it all looks really interesting. So I was like, I saw this, and I was like, this is more in a difficulty range I could maybe pull off compared to some of the others. I mean, I could beat some of Shmigels' other stuff, but do I want to is the question. But this was fun. I liked this. I thought this was good. But like I say, there are some very glaring issues I had with it, and I would not recommend this asterisk if it's something that would be among your hardest completions. If you've beaten a good number of things above this in difficulty, and you like have the skill to maybe crank this out in 2K or less, you might be able to live with it, because you can deal with some of the timings going on, some of the like kind of do-it-yourself transitions, that kind of thing. You might be able to pull it off better. But this was cool. This was neat. I like the deco in this a lot, too. I really appreciate this kind of standing out very intentionally from a lot of the other extreme demon stuff out there right now. That was cool. And I have some old attempts on this from a practice run from forever ago. I don't know how many, though. So this was probably sub 2K today pretty reasonably. My practice run earlier took me like 300, 400. Did I finish a practice? I might not. Did I play this? I might not have played this. I honestly don't know. I thought I had a few old. I don't know, maybe it took a little over 2K. Unsure. unsure, whatever. This is cool though. This is good stuff. Like I say, if this looks interesting to you, if this looks like something you might enjoy, I'd recommend it. But it's definitely not for everyone. It's definitely sort of an acquired taste demon. Alright. Well, I'm going to cut the recording here now.